Sports Video Group's Jason Dackman. We are in Vegas at the NAB Show, and I am with Sports Broadcasting Hall of Famer and Canon legend Larry Thorpe. Larry, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Canon, some cool stuff at the show this year, I'm sure. Can you tell us a little bit about, I know that the Compact-Servo lens was a big introduction last year for sort of that lower budget market, big success there.
Yeah.
Any new stuff on that front?
Yes, we promised last year when we introduced that lens, a new category of lens, that it would be the first of a series. So at this NAB, we're introducing the tele version of that. The one we introduced last year was 18 to 80 millimeters. The one we're introducing here is 70 to 200 millimeters. And there are extender adapters, EF, that you can put on to extend that out to 400 millimeters.
Right.
It's exactly the same size, shape, weight. It has the image stabilization built in. So between the two, it's like you have variable primes because they keep a constant aperture over the full focal range, so you can extend from 18 millimeters to 200 millimeters with two lenses, low cost, for all those low cost 4K cameras that are now out there.
Sure. So that's the lower budget side of the market. What about that high-end part of the market? I'm sure there'll be plenty at the booth for Canon for that.
With the high end, of course, in recognition of all that's happening with 4K UHD, sports, 2/3 inch, rising interest in that. We've already introduced portable lenses and field lenses, and at this NAB we're introducing the studio lens, 2/3 inch, 4K, for those who are interested in studio. It's a 27 by 6.5 millimeter, 27:1 zoom ratio.
Sure. And what about on the HDR front? HDR going to be a huge message at the show. I think everybody can assume. What's Canon's offerings on that front?
Well, we introduced a camera in November, which is our flagship A camera. Right. Took us a little while to get it there, but it's called the EOS C700. And this is quite a camera. This camera will do HD or 2K or UHD or 4K. 15 stops of dynamic range, so it'll image HDR. Got wide color gamut. It has two built-in onboard codecs for recording. We can record 4K 60p with our XF AVC codec. And we have the ProRes codec in there because a lot of people love that codec.
For those that prefer. Yeah.
For those that prefer it. And we collaborated with Codex, and they made a dockable recorder that docks directly to our Canon C700 camera. And now you can record 4K, 60p, 12-bit for major movie making, or 4K 10-bit at 120 frames per second. Or you can record 4.5K 10-bit 100 frames per second. So very powerful recording capabilities.
Sure.
A lot of other things I'd like to talk about, but best thing is come to the floor and see it.
Sure. Anything else on the HDR front for you guys?
On the HDR front, we have two new monitors, on-set displays. We had introduced a 24-inch a little more than a year ago at about 400 nit, but this year we have one at 1200 nits, and with the black down at 005, so a tremendous dynamic range. And that's on set. That couples directly to our cameras. It'll accept the raw 4K. It'll debear it in the monitor, display it. It's got all sorts of metadata interconnections between our cameras. It's an 18-bit processing engine in it that will do ACES, color correction on set, grading according to the ACES system. And then we have a new 17-inch that can be rack mounted for trucks. It can be battery powered if you want to take a small portable HDR monitor out on set. And so with those two, we have quite an offering now in HDR capabilities.
Sure. So every year we talk about 4K, we talk about HDR. Canon has been at the forefront with a lot of the innovations there. Is this the show where really we're going to hit that point where it becomes a reality, mass market? Next year when we get here at NAB, 4K and HDR are going to be extremely widespread, or are we still a little far off?
I think it's too early to say that 4K is mass market. There's a lot of people producing in 4K because they want the masters protected. But they're distributing by converting it to whatever, to HD or whatever, and or to 1080p for some of the streamings and all of the social media. And of course, there's a lot more experimenting going on with sports in 4K. But there's no major movement yet on the front of broadcasters and cable operators It's going to take its time, as did HD. Has to earn its way, has to gain acceptance. In the meantime, of course, 4K sets are pouring into the market from the consumer electronic manufacturers, but happily, they have upscalers in them that are very, very good. They'll accept an HD or a 2K, upscale it, portray it as very respectable looking 4K, and that's going to be a bridge as we wait for 4K to become mass market. Well, I hope in my lifetime.
Well, I think we all hope in our lifetime. So, Larry, it's always a pleasure. We really appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much. Make sure to stop by the Canon booth at the NAB show, and stay tuned to sportsvideo.org for more news from the show throughout the week in Vegas.